In this video, we'll see how to add or modify an open graph tag in your page's source code. For the example, we'll take a Benetton page and go and make some changes. The open graph tag that already exists, the open graph title tag. I don't know if you're aware, but Google has announced that it now takes the open graph title tag into account to display the title in the search results. We are now in the EdgeSEO solution, and today we're going to use the SEO recommendation application. Click on Edit, add a new recommendation, and give it a name. So, optimisation, open graph tag. Next, click on the next step, and now we'll set the target on which we want to modify our open graph tag. Here, for our example, we'll simply add a URL as the target. We'll select Request URL and set it equal to the URL we want to modify. Let's move on to the next step. Now, we've reached the variables step. You'll be able to create variables, which is really powerful, and I'll show you how. Here, in this example, we're going to retrieve the type that's here into a variable. So, newness, the product name in the H1 tag, and finally, the light green color. These three elements will allow us to reconstruct the open graph title tag. How do we do that? It's very simple. Click on Add a text variable. This will allow us to extract the text contained within an HTML tag. Here, we're going to name the first variable type and enter the CSS selector that allows us to target the HTML element. Where is the content located? Text, newness. We'll do the same for the other two. So, here, the H1 tag, which will allow us to extract the content from our H1 tag. And finally, a third variable which we'll call color, which will allow us to extract the product's color. So, once we've set up all the variables, we move on to the next step. And finally, we arrive at the SEO recipe store. And here, we'll select Open Graph Structured Data, and we'll be able to configure the Open Graph title here, using the variables we've just set up. So here, we're going to copy this. I'll quickly explain what this means. The double curly brackets are used to display a variable, so the first one, type, which is set to new, and then we add a little function to replace a special character with the letter E. Next, we separate with a dash, take the content from the H1 tag, and next to it, we'll display the color. You'll see that we'll remove the capital letters to make it look more harmonious and have the product name with the color. All in the same sentence. Then, we save and record the change. Final step. Now, we're going to check that our change has been properly applied, so we go back to the product page, click on the SEO Minion plugin, and go to the OG title tag. And here, we can clearly see that the new tag has been rewritten with new, padded jacket, green collar, light green, and light green, all written in lowercase. As always, if you have any examples of recommendations you're stuck on, feel free to add them in the comments. And in a future video, I'll show you how to implement them with EdgeSEO.